how can you start sales conversations without triggering resistance, without being just another sales professional, but also having control and being able to lead the prospect in a powerful way. This is Chris Rigoudis. I've produced more than 8 figures in sales online. Today, we're gonna unpack the 5 steps on how to open the sales conversation properly and the most important factor to never do wrong, or it can sabotage the sale completely. Let's dive in. Let's dive into the stealth conversion system, and we'll start with the opener stage. Now, big mistakes a lot of people make here is number 1, they try to play buddy-buddy, saying things like, where are you from? How's the weather there? How are you doing today? We'll have the picture on the wall. People don't care to unpack their emotions with you 5 seconds in. But also, when you're saying things like that, realize that this is exactly what everyone else trying to sell them something says to them. So stay away. I'm gonna walk you through exactly what to say instead. We wanna move away from being overly excited as well. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm going to a doctor, I don't care if they're excited or not. All I care about is diagnosing my problem properly and them prescribing the right solution to me. So us conversion catalysts, we do things differently and we like to be calm and confident. So being able to convey certainty to the prospect, but also not being overly enthusiastic or apathetic towards them. And third big mistake is focusing on interesting versus productive information. You're gonna hear a lot of things during sales calls and they fall into 2 buckets. Interesting but not productive, which is most of the information, and also productive information that actually contribute towards helping them and making the sale. So you want to be able to filter the productive information, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. So we're going to start each call by building what I call rapid rapport. We don't want to spend 5 minutes here. Again, people don't care. They're there just to solve the problems. So here's what we say. Good to see you here, Chris. How are things on your side of the globe? Or how's your side of the fence holding up? I want to be a little bit more humorous just to be disarming. There's obviously it's the first time we're meeting that person. So by introducing some humorous lines, some humor, we're putting them at ease. When people hop on the phone, fight or flight mode, we're not sure what we're going to encounter, if someone is going to hard sell us. So we like to put them at ease by being a little bit more humorous, showing them that we're human. And typically they reply back by saying, yeah, I'm doing well. How about you? And I continue with the humorous theme by saying, try to survive the heat wave here in Cyprus, practically strap on the AC, but I don't want to bore you, and that's where I dive right into the bridge phrase. So this is where I say, well, it looks like you booked with us about possibly big problem that you solve. Now, I'm saying possibly because I want to remain neutral, but also I want to put their ball on their court. So I'm not going to do any hard pitches. I'm not going to do any introductions to the company. We're going to put the ball back on them. And the first essential question that I'm going to ask is, what were you hoping to get out of the meeting today? Like, what I call overt outcome is we want to get the exact reason why they're there. Of course, we're not going to directly ask them because that's going to trigger sales resistance. But what we'll want to do is we want to find their objective. Why is that person there? What are they looking to solve? Now, I want you to notice something. I'm not going to say things like challenge, what's the biggest problems you have? It's way too soon for that. But I'm going to ask them is if they have an agenda that they want to go over during that call. Now, I want to remind you that we talked about interesting versus productive information. So a lot of people will come with a rough agenda, or they will just say, yeah, I just want to find out a little bit more about you guys have. This is not productive information, right? This is not an overt outcome. This is not a goal that they have. They're just talk about me. So I want to put the ball back on them. And this is what I'm going to ask if I don't get the answer that I want here. Oh, yeah, that's not a problem. I'll go through it, but do you know what you're looking for specifically though? And this will allow them to unpack a little bit more around what they're hoping to get out of that call. Then we'll dive into brand relevance. So then I'm going to ask them, well, what was it about the email that I sent you or my content that I post online that attracted your attention? What we want to do there is we want to get an understanding of, are they following us for a while, or do they follow the company, the organization for a while? But also, what was the point of resonance? For example, if I send them a cold email, what was the big benefit that they saw that they resonated with and they thought, hey, this is worth my time, let me hop on a call with these guys. So this is where I'm going directly into their world, their pain points, but again, without being too upfront about it, so I stay away from triggering sales resistance. Now, if they say, yeah, I've been consuming your content for a while, what I can do is, oh, nice, how long have you been following us for? So this will give me a good understanding of, okay, this guy has been following me for 5 years, so I will be able to challenge them a little bit more around, hey, You've been following us for 5 years. Obviously, you know exactly who we are. So what's holding you back from getting started? This is why the opener stage is so important, because it allows me to build so much leverage for what happens afterwards in the call. The final step in the process is I want to establish a narrative. Now, a lot of people, they like to set hard frames by saying, hey, this is a call where we're going to find about you. You're going to tell me where you want to go in terms of your goals, your biggest challenges. And at the end of the call, we'll decide if it's a fit. Just give me a yes. You can give me a no, but don't give me a think about it. That's a hard frame, right? And most people in today's day and age, guys, they won't fall for that. Like, you're essentially asking them to tell you, think about it, just triggering their rebellious nature, right? So we're not about hard frames, it's about intention. I want to show them with the right language that the call is all about them. It's not about my agenda or talking about my prompts. It's about their prompts. So the language I want to use here is perfect. Well, we're booked for about 45 minutes, so why don't we just dive in? These calls are pretty straightforward. I'd love to find out more about your current situation, your vision in terms of what you'd like to achieve, and see if we can actually help you get there. Does that help you? So again, I'm establishing the narrative of the call. I'm letting them know that we're going to talk about their current situation, their goals, and what's holding them back, and see if we can actually help them. I want you to notice how I position myself. I'm all about helping them. So just to summarize, rapport, we have a bridge phrase, we have the overt outcome, brand relevance, and we establish narrative. Now, which one is the most important? The most important piece here is actually the overt outcome. And the reason why is best portrayed with an analogy. So if I'm a rock climbing expert, right? If I'm a mountain climbing expert, and a person comes to me and they tell me, hey, I want to find out how I can climb mountain. As you might understand, every mountain requires a different map and possibly a different set of tools to navigate. So if I don't establish in my first, let's say, 5 minutes of our conversation, which mountain they want to climb, the mistake a lot of people make is they talk about mountains and rock climbing in general, but they never get specific. They never go below the surface. So what ends up happening is they start preaching the individual about generic problems, and then they think about it, because they never knew what's the true outcome the prospect needs to accomplish. So before we go any deeper with them, we want to understand what's their overt outcome. This is the mountain that I want to climb. Perfect. Let's start climbing that mountain together. What have you been currently doing to climb that mountain? So I'm very precise, I'm very specific around the answers I want to get out of them. And if I'm able to extract that overt outcome, what they're truly looking for out of implementing a solution like mine, I'm going to be able to guide them. So this is exactly how you can start sales conversations successfully. You just have to follow these 5 steps. If you've enjoyed the video and you've watched more than 2 and you're getting value, what are you waiting for? Hit subscribe, hit the like button. And if you want more hands-on help with your sales process, getting more clients, I have a link in the description. Book an initial conversation with me and would love to see if I can help.